Are you wanting to know the ins and outs of building a base in Dune Awakening? I'm Controlled Chaos. In this video, we're going to go over exactly that. Let's go ahead and get into it. First off, we're going to go ahead and build our first subfief, which is what is used for making a base. So you're going to need to research that. In order to do that, we're going to go ahead and open up our inventory. We're going to go research. Very basics of it, you're going to get a construction tool kit, right? It's right here, advanced construction toolkit, and this will allow you to make the subthief and things like that. Now, once you've made the construction tool, which is this right here, you find a good spot you can place next to other subthiefs and stuff like that. The areas that I recommend that you look for when building these are as follows. You want to make sure that you have power cell blocks like this nearby. You want to make sure that you have ores nearby. You want to make sure that you have water nearby that is drinkable from plants. You also want to make sure that you have some rocks nearby, and that you have mobs to fight nearby. And up on this cliff area are a bunch of enemy to draw blood from. Best way for you to get your water using the blood purifier. So anyways, when you actually do go to put your subfief down, let's say I want to build next to my other base right here, right? So I'm going to place this right here. Instead of putting it at this height, if you hold down control and then move your scroll wheel forward, you can actually raise this up to get a higher limit. Now, if we take a look at things, like I put there, and I lower this down, you notice that changes the height distance on things. So you want to make sure to raise it up to where you want it to be. And let's place it. So we've built it, and now we can start working on the foundations. And you can do the same thing with the foundations. For instance, let's say I want to put foundation here. I don't want it being covered by rocks. So once again, I'm just raise this a bit. Click. We're gonna build. Now, let's say you're building with a bunch of friends, or you just want to see how things will look. Do one click. Put the foundation down, another click, there you go. Go over, get a good angle. As you can see, it's a bit fidgety here. So you place that there, and you notice I did a long click, and you don't want to do that. But work with it, get the angles right, do one click, there you go, it's been placed. Another good angle, click, there you go. You're getting the basics of your layout down. Now, another thing you can do is you can just click on the one that you want and click again. Or if you want to just straight build, just do a long hold click. And it will work for you that way. Now, you can continue going along and creating your build out with the blueprints and just fully blueprint it out just with a single click, as you can see I'm doing here. You want to normally just keep it with your first base being a 3x3x3 and go that direction. Now that we got this place, I'm just going to build these out real quick like so. As you can see, I'm using the resources that I've gathered to build them. I misclicked on that. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. So we got all this stuff put in and placed. Now, you're wanting to move something, like let's say I want to move my subfief console. Just left click or right click to where it goes to move. Now I click on what I want to move, place it where I want, boom, there you go. You notice the box didn't move. You want to place the subfief before you build the subfief. You want to make sure that that box area, this green area, is exactly where you want it to be. And then we'll work that way. But anyways, we're going to continue to right click, and we get this right outline here for demolish, and we can start demolishing things. and this works out well. You get resources back as you demolish things. The great thing is that you cannot interact with this and destroy the subfief through here at all. It is just not possible. If you are going to need to destroy a subfief, which there is a mission to do that before you get the advanced subfief, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to open up your map. You're going to scroll in and you're going to find the base you want. So I have my main base here, and I have the base I'm at here. The base you want to destroy, you see how it says abandoned base? And you hit X. I'm going to confirm that. So I've confirmed that and the base is gone. But look, all my base building pieces are still here. People can go and claim this area and use this. So if you want this to be gone, go back to your construction tool, move to destroy. Even though the subfief is gone, you can still destroy things and get things done. So even if you misplace some of your base parts or the location and positioning of your base, you can destroy this. You can build out the base, destroy this subfief, and then reposition it to get better height or things like that to readjust things. But you want to do it quickly so that no one else jumps in and takes what you've built. Now let's go in and talk about managing your subfief. So first thing that you're going to need to have is to have shields up, and to power things you're going to need to have these generators. This is a must. Now I'll explain why I have two here a little bit later. But the first thing I want to talk about with managing a base is if we go here and we hold F to manage, you can disable different devices within the management here. But the main thing I want to talk about is access level. So you can change the access level 3 different ways. You can click on the box of the one you want to be, because there's owner, which is just you. There's co-owner, so you and who you choose to be a co-owner of the base and give them access to build in the base and access things. You have associates, which are all the people on your friends list. That's associates. And also group members. You have guild. This is anyone in the guild, or you can make it public. You can also change these with the arrows. So the arrows right here allow you to change it. Another way you can change this is the arrow keys on your keyboard will let you change it. So I'm going to move the mouse over here and you can see that it is moving. Scroll wheel does nothing, but I'm going to put this back to associates and get that done. Let's say you're building and all of a sudden the power shuts down. That's where you need to place a second generator. These generators only handle so many devices. I got to the point when I built everything, and I got to the point where I needed to put in my recycler here. And the moment I installed the recycler, the power went down. And that is where I needed to have the second generator. The second generator will do nothing if you do not put energy cubes or power cells into it itself. You can't just place it down and think that it will hook in with this other generator here. Each individual one needs to have their own set of power cells, and the power cells need to be in the generator. You cannot put them in the inventory. It doesn't work that way. Let's talk about other ways that you can manage your base. We're going to talk about doors. So I'm going to go up to a room up here that I have, and let's say I don't want people accessing this door. This is my private area. I can hit F to manage, and in here, in this individual door, I can set this just to owner. And that is how you lock things out there. And this is really great because it works with multiple things. Hold on here. Mom, I need to get some water because I am getting thirsty. So I'm going to go over here. I think I have some in my thing here. Let's see. Drink. No, I do not. So this is where having water nearby is very important. I'm close to my character dying. I'm not extremely close, but I'm close enough. As you can see, my health is really going down. Let's get some water going. There we go. Okay, we're filled back up. Anyways, back to what I was talking about, setting permissions. With setting permissions, you can set permissions on everything in your base that is accessible to interact with. And that is really nice. So for instance, over here, the blood purifier. If I hit F, I can go in here and I can manage this. Now, if you're having power issues and you haven't built a second generator, you can also disable it and it will stop the power usage. That's another good thing here. But you can set this to whoever you want to be able to use this, which is really good and really nice. The other thing is that you can set up what are called circuits. So for instance, I have this ore refiner right here. If I hit F and I go to storage, you'll see up here in the upper right, I have two things that say circuit 2. This first one right here that's highlighted, that is the input. That is what does it pull from. The second one that I'm highlighting now is the output. Where does it put the resources once you are done? So I have this set to circuit 2 and circuit 2. The reason being is I have my boxes over here. If we manage this one and we look at the storage here, I have it set to circuit 2 and circuit 2. So that ore refiner will pull its resources that it needs to do the refining from this crate. And then once it's refined that ore into the copper ingots or whatever, it will put it into this crate. This is my ore crate, and this is a great way to do things. There are a lot of different devices that allow you to do this. You can do this with so many different things. Even the recycler here, you can set an input and an output, such as I have, this here, which everything has its own storage. This could have been put into a crate, and that's mainly for overflow. So it's going to fill up its inventory first, and then it will put it into where you designate. So that one, it would go into the crate. For the generators, there is no input, no output. It is solo by itself. So it's only what you have in its own storage it will use. Another one that is the same way is over here with the blood purifier. We interact with this, you notice there is no storage. It just has these meters here. And then if we look over here to where I have a water container to put water into, it's the same thing. One thing I wish Funcom would do is make it so that when you put these water containers down, you can create a circuit to connect to a specific blood purifier, so that when the blood purifier fills up, so once this blood purifier has filled up this water, that's it. You cannot purify any more blood. I'd love to be able to have a circuit capability of an input and output for it, so that overflowed water will go into the containers of my choosing, and so on and so forth, and link them together. Works out really nicely. Now, when you build your second base, like I have here, and I've moved and done the advanced sub beef, that's where I started filling up and building big and building out really nice and complex. That's what you want to do for your second base, because your first base, you're gonna be getting rid of it. Now, let's say you do decide to ignore that advice and you want to build just a really cool first base. That's not a problem. There is a tool that you can use right here to actually copy the blueprint of the base, and then you can place it into another subfief, and it will just put the blueprint down, which is really nice. And you'll have to put the subfief down first before you can do that, because as you can see on the screen, it says you must place in your land. And if you just click out of this without changing, so just change weapons, it's going to remember that blueprint. So if I go back to it again, I did not click on it, so I'll do it again. I'm not even facing the base. I'm going to switch over to that tool, and there it is. It remembers the last blueprint that you saved, which is really good and very helpful. This is what makes it easy for you to quickly put down blueprints, especially in those deep desert zones where it's refreshing every week. That's important for use. So with that being said, you can have up to 3 subfiefs or bases put down, but each base will take a amount of tax that you need to pay to it. You have to pay the taxes and stuff like that. It's how they sort of help out with the economy and use up the money, is by taxing the subfiefs you have. So the more subfiefs you have down, the more money you're going to need to spend on keeping those subfiefs safe. Now you also want to keep the shield or the generators up and running. Reason being is if your generators are not up and running and your power to your base is not given, when the sandstorms hit, it will do damage to your base. But the great thing is when we go into our build tool, you notice right here is repair. We can repair different parts of the base that get damaged from the storm in case there is an issue, which is another really good thing. Few things I forgot to mention about bases. You want to be careful going into someone's base that you don't know. Reason being is they can change permissions while you're in the base and lock you in their base. You also want to be careful with Bene Gesserits because they have the voice call. They can call you towards them and use that ability and pull you into their base, and they can lock you into the base. So be careful around other players' bases, especially in PvP areas. So if someone builds near one of the science facilities, or a crash ship is near it, or you're in the deep desert, that's where you need to be super careful. I would not worry about building a garage for your bike until after you get your second subthief, as the advanced subthief gives you more room to be able to build a nice sized garage and a reason to do so. And you'll get that advanced subthief shortly after getting the ability to build your first standby. Let's talk about furniture now. So you want to go to any trade outpost out there, such as the anvil. You want to interact with the merchant like I'm doing right here. And you want to just trade with them. And I'm going to scroll down here a bit because it's a bit down in the list. I have office furniture here. You're going to need to have 2,000 just to get it. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that one. Confirm. And I also want to buy the bedroom set. And confirm, because before you buy those, the only thing you will have in the way of furniture is lights. And maybe if you did the pre-order, the animal aquarium thing. But let's go ahead and get back to the base and I'll show you some of the furniture. Okay, I am back in my base. So I'm gonna hit 6. I'm gonna bring this up. I need to hit R. C. Have the new pieces. We have chairs, couches, a bunch of different little pieces. We have decor of rugs, the thermal habitat that I was telling you about, sculptures, That's all we have. And then here's the lighting. This is what you get. You get the lighting. You don't get anything in here. The decor, the only thing you might get if you have the pre-order and it says so, is this habitat here. So I'm going to start putting some things down. I want to put down a desk here. Rotate the desk. Put that down there. Put down a chair. Here. Oh. Keep forgetting I need to hold Alt down while doing this. Go. Get that there. All we have for chair. Third chair. Here. Here. Let's go ahead and go 4. Put right at the entrance. So probably objects in the way. So with that being said, go ahead and try placing it here. Move it. Nope, won't let me. Destroy it. Go ahead and put down some other stuff. Go back to furniture. Bed. Bed. Place it. It there is good. Bed there. Work on some couches. If just regular tables. I'm not seeing any regular tables. There. Wonder do snap? Oh, that'd be so cool if these snapped. If these snapped, that'd be amazing. That's a feature I'd love to see, is snapping for furniture. But anyways, this is basically what you get when you put in, and like this, no interaction. Can't sit in it. Let's see if we can sit in the chairs. No interaction. I was sitting in the chairs. So it is completely decorative. I hope in a future patch they make it so we can sit in these chairs. Because what's the point of having this decorating your base except to look nice if it's not functional? The bed, can we lay in the bed? No, we cannot lay in the bed. Make this stuff functional, Funcom. That's my recommendation. But overall, that is everything in how to play or how to build bases and maintain them in Dune Awakening. If you like this video, YouTube thinks you will enjoy this next one, and have a great day.